Hello, this is Boyos Network. Thank you for tuning in to listen. I do really appreciate. Still on protest updates. The protest has really gone sour in the northern part of the state. I don't know what the northerners have in mind before coming out to protest. That is what I don't understand. I think these people actually have something else in mind because in Borno State, observed that they were having issue with the police people. In Kano State, we had each complaints from people. Right now, this news is coming from Kaduna State. And so far, we know police and the protesters have been having issue in some areas, but not as bloody as the case we are having from the northern part of the country. So let's see the news in details. In Kaduna State, a police officer was reportedly shot while the security teams tried to disperse protesters in the state with tear gas. The ICIR learned that the injured police officer was immediately rushed into the police vehicle by his colleague for treatment. However, it is unclear whether the protesters or the hoodlums were responsible for the shooting. The peaceful protest against end bad governance in Nigeria has turned into violence in Kaduna State on Tuesday, leaving no fewer than 3 youths dead and many other protesters injured. An eyewitness said the number of protesters, mostly youths and unemployed, which has outnumbered the security operatives, marched from the Rigasa area and from the Abakwa end towards the Sir Kazim Ibrahim House, the official residence and the office of the state governor. The surviving protesters who craved anonymity said, "We are marching peaceful and no one was carrying any offensive weapon. I think the security operatives near the government house were threatened by our numbers." Suddenly, a vehicle that they use in spraying hot water on protesters came speeding towards us from the government house houses and sprayed us with hot water. Another security vehicle came on high speed from the 44 reference hospital end. In the confusion that ensued, and as we are trying to save ourselves from being hit by the security vehicle, 3 peaceful protesters were hit and they died. No one carries any weapon. We were just carrying placards and chanting slogans against the bad governance, he said. Meanwhile, reports indicate that the officer of the Kano State Tariff Agency was touched by the protesters. The hunger protest has turned violent in Kaduna State as the protesters in their large number has set ablaze the headquarters of Kaduna State Tariff Law Enforcement Agency. The protest, which was hitherto peaceful, turned violent as the protesters in their hundreds were marching back to Ahmed Bello Way from Kaduna Government House through Sokoto Road. These protesters also looted properties at the office of the Kaduna State Tariff Agency headquarters and private residents around the office. One Bamushi wrote on his Facebook, hashtag Kaduna State, we are not violent people. It is said to be peaceful protest, but even in Kaduna State, it has turned to be violent, with stealing and burning down of people and government properties. The police officers were brutally attacked by the protesters. The overseeing commissioner for international security and home affairs, Mr. Samuel Aruwa, confirmed the development. Major streets in the state capital were deserted. Markets and shops closed due to the fear the protests might be hijacked by hoodlums. Ready policemen and other security operatives were stationed at potential flashpoints to forestall any eventuality. It was also said that citizens and majority of those who embark on panic buying of foodstuffs and other essentials the previous day had remained indoors and monitored the happenings on their local radios and television. Schools and other vocational training institutions also remained closed. There was no response from the police as at the press time, but only a clarification that the personnel deployed were 2,005 and not 25,000 as we earlier reported. Alright, that is the news before the commencement of this protest. Government and some institutions called on the organizers of this protest to advise them against the dangers of this protest. And the organizers did not listen to this. They made their demands. I'm not blaming the organizers of the protest, neither am I blaming the government. Both of them are to be blamed in what is happening now. The government have the power to stop this protest. It's a question of looking at those their demands. You must not meet all of them. It's just a question of calling on this youth, dialogue with them. Okay, these your demands are numerous. We can't attend to them, but we can at least try to see how we work on this, work on that, work on that. These guys are not fool. I believe they will still give the government time. Okay, let us give you time. They postpone the protest and see what the government will come up with. Government came out and said a bag of rice is 40,000. Where did they sell bag of rice 40,000? How many places did they sell bag of rice 40,000? Then where I am blaming the organizers of the protest is that they did not give this youth a proper orientation. You are calling on youth that they should come out, calling on people to come out, you want to protest without giving them proper orientation. You have to tell them we are coming out to do a peaceful protest and not to cause trouble. I know, yes, they are angry, they will do things like this are expected to happen, but not on day one. When A started, the day one, day two was not this bloody. Just look at what is happening in the northern part. They don't already they keep it. People are dying. That is to say, if this 10 days range happen like that, now be say the full community don't die now. So I still believe that governments have the power to stop this. And the youth should know that looting will not solve the problem. Causing problem will not solve the problem. There is no government that is ready to listen to you with the way things are going now. Instead, they will use force in order to arrest the situation. And the more they use force, the more things are going sour. So, guys, I don't know what you think about what is happening in the northern part of the country. Please feel free to drop your comment with us in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not for more information on the updates about this protest. Thank you, and also please give us a thumbs up.